Our government is yet to publish a report of the atomic junction gas explosion 1 month after that incident claimed about 7 lives and injured many others. The explosion has resulted in new sweeping policies in the distribution of gas in the country, mainly to curb such incidences. Now, in the following report, JoyNews' Matilda Bomega looks back at events that followed that deadly blast.
Of the explosion were first shared on social media. Pictures, videos and audio confirmed the gas explosion at the Medina Atomic Junction. Media houses across the capital followed the leads. JoyNews was there.
They are not picking the calls. It's a panic situation, panic reaction. A lot of people are unable to, control their emotions. What was the situation? Who is in there?
It's my daughter. One of my daughter. Yeah.
Images taken meters from the explosion show a huge ball of fire towering into the Saturday night sky. Eyewitnesses say the explosion struck when a gas tanker was offloading its content at a station. The fire instantly spread to a fuel station opposite the gas filling station. Scores of residents, students in and around Medina Atomic Junction fled. It was a run for dear life. The nature of the explosion caused chaos in Medina, Legon and its environs. The Ghana National Fire Service equally didn't have it easy. A firefighter was injured in the line of duty.
We couldn't find out their location, so we are going to look for their location. Then the third explosion came. The time I was running, I don't know where I'm running to, because the place all was dark.
Ministers, members of parliament, the National Disaster Management Organization were at the scene in their numbers. It took firefighters the whole night into Sunday morning to put out the blaze. The Vice President visited the scene a day after the explosion, announcing government's intervention to pay medical bills of the victims and the formation of an investigative committee. The President also visited the scene 2 days after the explosion. Government outlined measures to be taken by various stakeholders in the industry with a view to ending the numerous incidences of fuel explosions in the country.
It's time these incidents came to a stop in Ghana. We cannot continue with them.
Many things that I was...
Memories of that fateful Saturday evening remain fresh on his mind. Godwin is in pain. He sustained severe burns from the gas explosion. Parts of his left ear down to his shoulders got burned. Both hands and legs are wrapped in bandages, concealing the wounds. Godwin struggles with his speech from his bed at the 37 Military Hospital, recounting memories of that horrific night. He lost his best friend and his mobile phone shop to the fire. Tearfully, he manages some few words.
Stevie, look at Lucy, see. Before he turned, the fire already cut his clothes. I lost many of my things, but I don't care about the things I lost. I only care about my friend and my body. Only God can give him rest. I should have been dead with him, but God said, Godwin, this is not your time.
Godwin is among 11 victims still on admission at the 37 Military Hospital.
So where the thing to blast, where the fire they can way around. I leave the motor there. I run where the fire can burn my back and push me down.
2 of the 11 victims are still in critical condition at the intensive care unit of the 37 Military Hospital. Doctors tell me even though they are responding to treatment, they will be on admission for some months due to the severity of the burns. Back at Ground Zero, the disaster scene remains cordoned off with police visibility. This is the exact spot. 7 lives were lost and over 100 were injured as a result of the gas explosion here at the Medina Atomic Junction. Properties were destroyed, businesses were lost. It's been a month. What has changed? We will tell you.
everybody was just running. No shoes, bra and pants. You can't think in that moment. And before the second explosion, we thought we had a little bit of time. So my husband ran back to get the car. My brother grabbed our passports.
Where were you going?
Back to the UK. We thought we'd come back to nothing. So even on Sunday, I was dreading coming back here. I didn't want to come back. I delayed at all. Any bump, I'm like, whew. Anybody burning fire in the distance, I still shake. Any orange lights, I'm still very shaky. But, you know, gradually we can sleep and it will get better.
The once busy Atomic Junction is no more. Business is also slow. The question on the minds of families, victims, affected business owners, and many Ghanaians is what exactly caused the explosion. Prince Billy Anaglate is Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana National Fire Service.
From our preliminary investigation we have also submitted the final reports to the Minister of Interior.
Okay.
Yes. Details of the reports cannot be said here. It is our responsibility to investigate, to know what exactly the cause is. But it is not for us to stand here today and talk about the details of the report.
Why is it that the cause or the reasons behind all these are not put out there as guidance to stakeholders or to the general public?
Fire investigation, first of all, is to determine policy guidelines. So we come out to tell the governments about the causes of some of these fires and that it is used in their policy decisions. It is also to inform us in our fire safety education that we give to the public. The only thing that is missing there is just that we don't say that Company A, the fire in Company A is caused by A, B, C, D. But the cause of the fire, the activities that might have led or initiated the fire in Company A is used to educate people that might be using similar facility.
So why don't we have that? Why don't?
So whatever the outcome of the investigation is, the detail have been taken. So it is going to form as one of the details information that we will send out for education. But we will not tell you that Company X, because of ABCD that they've done, that has caused it. But definitely it will form one of our educative messages that will be given. So
Previous reports on such incidents are not made public. This is what petroleum industry players are unhappy about. Duncan Amoa, Executive Director of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers of Ghana, wants the culture of shielding such investigative reports stopped.
Individual lives are lost, right? These families are interested what went wrong. Was it arson? Was it somebody deliberately setting fire to the station? Was it that the station itself was negligent with its own operating procedure? Was it that the regulators didn't do their work? Sometimes we tend to believe that these reports would indict some highly placed officials, and so they are shelved. They are not disclosed. Ghanaians need a report. They should make the report open and available to the media, civil society, AOMC, BDCs, everybody that is in the chain should have the report so that we all peruse it, see what went wrong, and put in place measures to forestall any such recurrence. Unfortunately, this report might also be treated as another confidential document when families have lost their relatives. I don't think that we have treated some of these investigative reports with the seriousness it deserves. We shelve them. People have lost their lives. Investments are gone. Others are maimed. And you go telling these people whatever triggered their unfortunate circumstances as of today is a national security thing, then I think you didn't need to do the report in the first place.
Coordinator for the oil marketing companies, Kweku Ajimandua, says its members can better train and plan to prevent such disasters if reports are made public.
Even when accidents are investigated, we don't get reports. And that one really destroys the very foundation of safety.
At the moment, the National Petroleum Authority is on a nationwide clampdown on fuel and gas stations who are not complying with safety protocols.
276 LPG refuel stations have been inspected out of the 636 distributed across the country. 45 outlets remain closed due to non-compliance with some regulatory and technical requirements. 37 outlets have been marked for closure when the level of their stocks reduced to levels within the safety zone. 26 outlets have been reopened after a comprehensive inspection was carried out by the inspections and monitoring units of the authority.
Also, there is National Public Education Campaign. The National Safety Campaign forms part of efforts to prevent accidents through liquefied petroleum gas explosion. For Joy News, Matilda Pomaga, Accra.
That's a story by Matsuda Wamaga. Let's have a conversation on this. Of course, a lot of people are looking forward to having this report, so we know how to prevent others, even though, well, like you heard the Mr. Bilianaglate say, this kinds of report, what's contained in the report, he cannot say it there. I have in the studio here the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC. His name is Duncan Amwa. Duncan, you're welcome.
Gifty, good afternoon to you.
Very good afternoon to you as well. Let's start with the number of impending reports, if I should put it that way, because we still don't have it. So let's look at this year alone. I mean, with the exception of what happened on June 3rd, let's look at this year alone, what has happened and whether or not we have those reports available. We've
seen an explosion in Takoradi. As we speak, whatever happened to the report, nobody would know. We've equally seen some explosion in the Ashaiman area, if you recall. Nothing has been told to Ghanaians so far. Then we have come to the atomic explosion. Again, the fire service is given the same excuses. What it means is that for them, Ghanaians do not deserve to know what these triggers are. And we find that quite unfortunate. We would contemplate forcing the fire service and the Interior Ministry through the law courts to publish these reports. Gifty, when these explosions occur, the fire service will be there sometimes thereafter. The public that suffers, shouldn't they be made aware what really happened? Could it equally have been arson, like I have mentioned earlier, that somebody deliberately decided to set the station up in flames? Is this something you are aware happens a lot in the industry? Gifty, that is why we leave the fire team to do their investigations. We went to do our own investigations, but because we are not mandated, we would not communicate same. But you are mandated to go, to the bottom of the issues. Whatever happened, Ghanaians deserve to know. It's not for the ministry that you conduct these investigations. If it was for the minister, we would not be interested. The ministry can conduct its own investigations anyhow it wants. But the fire report, just like happens in many jurisdictions across the world, these reports ought to be published immediately so that together we can all look forward to preventing any such incident recurring. Let me bring Nanaya Wakwada into this conversation. Nanaya Wakwada is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, and he joins us via Skype. Hello, Nanaya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I believe that you have followed the report, or you must have heard it yesterday. This was aired yesterday. What are your thoughts? Well, very good afternoon to you, Duncan, in the studio, and to your viewers. I must confess I joined you quite late midstream, and so I did not get the opportunity of listening to earlier submissions and earlier. I can give you a quick recap. That would be great. So this is it's been like a month since that explosion happened in Medina. Our reporter spoke to Prince Bilian Naglate, who speaks for the Ghana National Fire Service, about where the report is, because according to him, the report is done and it has been handed over to the Ministry of Interior. At the moment, he says he cannot, details of the report cannot be said here. He says cannot be put out here. He says because the investigations has been done, and that usually for them, such investigations only go to guide policy, drafts, and that it's used as a form of policy guideline, and that he can't
tell people what's in there. Basically saying that if you want to know what's in there, you perhaps should go to the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior itself, if it has indeed received the report, has not told Ghanaians anything. What are your thoughts?
Well, let me say that the narrative hasn't changed from what we used to hear since 2012 or 2010. The reason is quite obvious, and I have here in my hand the classified report. I mean, the report of the ministerial committee that investigated a fire outbreak at the Goa filling station. This is a leaked copy that I have had, courtesy a very good friend on the committee, not directly my friend, but a friend to some members of.
So let's say you got it from your sources, just so you don't put them in danger.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, the whole world over, like Duncan was saying, accident reports are published for one reason, one major reason, to enlighten the public and to ensure that these things do not recur. The reason in Ghana people continuously hold on to reports is just two things I want to share with you here. On page 11 of the 2015 disaster, it's captured here, observation that the capacity of the AMA legal department and its task force is inadequate to appropriately deal with the enforcement of their bylaws. And so, this one, when something of this sort has happened, and in all the cases they are looking at, they identify capacity issues. What we expect is that to appease the lives of the over 200 people that perished that day, we are going to see a change in capacity in the legal department. As I speak to you, whether there's been some injection of capacity in there, it remains a myth. You and I do not know. In the recommendation, they recommended, number one, recommendation A, they said AMA should establish a metropolitan police unit to be done from the Ghana Police Service to enforce the building regulations of the Assembly. The unit should have the mandate to prosecute offenders. While I do not agree with this very recommendation, the point is, have anyone seen any such unit within their fold? The answer is no. So the reason the government or the state continuously shield, these reports from access to the public is because of some of these things they just don't want to work, and they pay lip service to the people. That is that simple. Okay.
Speaking of which, Duncan here thinks that some of these things is as a result of arson, and so one of the possible reasons would be that perhaps this was arson, so someone will be implicated. So then they decide not to put it out. Is this something that you are aware of, through your engagement with people who work within the sector?
I think that accidents, from where I'm coming from, I think give that to Duncan, but from where I'm coming from, accidents are usually a chain of events. So it's difficult for me to place a hand and say it's arson. If it's arson, that's a crime right there. So then the police must be up and doing. But we are looking at the incident that has happened and the recommendations that have arisen out of the investigations. And we think that if these things are made public, the public will be able to hold duty bearers accountable. Look, years after the Malcolm issue, the Malcolm building collapse, 2015, there is a recommendation in this flash fire report, the last recommendation, that AMA should amend its building regulations to place penal sanctions against officers who approve buildings, okay, in unapproved places. So it means that even after, it's possible that even after Malcolm, the recommendations that came in the Malcolm report were not being implemented. Right. And fast forward to 2015, we are repeating recommendations. Okay. So that's the point. Okay. As the state is holding on to these reports.
Since you have the report, I'd like for you to look at it and tell us, and see if you could tell us the cause. In the meantime, the cause of the fire, at least for June 3. I'm going to quickly engage Duncan, on this one as well. Mr. Moore, what is going to be the next line of action? We've aired this report since yesterday. We're still airing today. I'm not sure you've had any feedback so far, have you?
You see, Gifty, what is important here is that I made mention of arson for one thing. If you speak to the LPG marketing company operators, there is a general belief that some of these things are even sometimes done just so they look bad. If you heard the AOMC, it was equally complaining. Mr. Ajumendia was complaining that they also do not get the reports, right? Is it possible that some individuals go behind the scene to tamper with these, hydrocarbon facilities just so as to create the sort of fires we have seen, for which they cannot publish the report? Gifty, we are saying again that if you do not publish the report, then don't even start the investigations in the first place. Once you commence an investigation, the public and families that are affected have a certain interest in it, right? With the belief that certain individuals could be found culpable. The individuals that could be culpable could be either the operator, it could either be the haulage operator or the transport person who brought the truck. Was it negligence on anybody's part that led to this fire?
Right.
If we cannot place a direct finger to any and cannot put the burden of, responsibility on any individual or company or the NPA or the EPA or anybody, and we continue to dance around and play with these issues, Gifty, I am sorry to say here there will be another fire in the not too distant future, because
hopefully. There won't, hopefully.
No, Gifty, we do not pray for it, but if you continue to do the same things, you get the same results. Okay. The same bits that we have seen in La, same bits in Takoradi, same bits in Kumasi, same bits all across. We continue to shield these reports because we absolve individuals and organizations. If the NPA was negligent, say so. If the EPA was negligent, say so. If the operator was negligent, say so.
And let's hold them responsible
Let's hold them responsible.
Right.
That way, those who are responsible today would not want to be responsible tomorrow. But a situation where we create these things and then we only, today we are punishing the LPG guys. They are getting out of business in 1 year because of this incident. Unfortunately, they cannot even hold on to a report that says your member was negligent, or this person was negligent, or this was a natural cause. Nothing is being told to all of us.
Nothing is being told to all of us.
We think that they should do better.
Okay, I'll come to you so that we have a final, your final say on what your next line of action is going to be. You've been demanding this for quite some time now. Let me bring you in and now again. Did you find the cause? The last time we heard that someone lit a cigarette, and that was supposedly the cause. Is there anything different in the cause bit of the report?
No, it's just what has been captured in the report, that someone lit a cigarette and the stab led to the cause of the fire.
Does that make sense to you? Personally, or is there any further information that will help you appreciate that particular point?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So the point is that even if we keep pushing for the report, we might as well get something that doesn't work that doesn't perhaps make sense. And then what?
No. The point is, if accidents occur and it leads to institutional reforms, sometimes it's not all accident that we are able to put a finger on the cause, but we are able to have what we call probable causes. And out of that, we are able to make recommendations that will lead to sometimes changes in practice, changes in institutional structures, and so on and so forth. I think that is the whole essence of accident investigation. So like Duncan said, if you are not ready to publish or make public the report, it's better you don't even investigate at all.
Well, that will make people angry. To hear you say something has happened and we're not investigating.
What I have here in my hand is over 200 pages. It's over 200 pages, and it's sitting on the shelf of the minister, or it's sitting on the shelf of some chief of state agency, and we don't have access to it to hold people accountable for action that they must take to appease the dead and to secure this country is as good as nothing.
So what will be your suggestion? What will be your, if you were to advise, as to how Ghanaians, I mean, the people who have been affected, who have lost families, all of us, can push the authorities to, you know, give us what we want?
Well, just over a week and a half ago, we dispatched a letter to the Interior Ministry. We are demanding a copy of the report, you know, on the incident of 7th October. We are also talking to our lawyers because since 2010, we've been calling for investigation reports into accidents that have shocked the nation's conscience, and we don't have any response. So we're talking to our lawyers. We are hopeful that by January we should be heading for court.
I see. Let me ask same of you, Mr. Amwa. What's going to happen? Next line of action.
Gifty, the same charade, right? After June 3, after Lagos, all of the explosions, the same charade. If you recall, June 3 saw the then Minister for Environment doing a national tour, closing down stations.
Yes.
The same charade is repeating itself. NPA says some stations have been closed down, others are earmarked to go. The same charade, nothing has changed. The same incidents, the triggers, the most immediate causes or the remote causes of these fires. Sometimes you will get the committee that does the investigation either goofing or misfiring, right? If somebody lights a cigarette and there is not a hydrocarbon traveling, the cigarette smoker really has committed no offense. Because unless, of course, you have indicated you do not smoke here and he did. But if you are smoking, in the open, and your negligence brings fire onto him, you have caused him. Unfortunately, we put these things in reports, we shelve the reports. So what we are seeking to suggest is that, there is really no reform. We've seen the charade.
Let's get back to my question. Really is about what you intend to do, because we can, what someone has called the purposeless lamentations. We can sit here and have all of the talk, and if we don't have a clear action plan as to how we want to demand this document, it won't come anywhere.
One Ghana forum, if you recall, Senor and some team came together, had some families of the June 3. We are quite certain that we would want to speak to some of the families that have also been affected by the atomic explosion. Some were innocent completely. And if they've been affected by people's negligence or direct whatever, some of them we would lead to court to also demand for redress. Some are permanently maimed, and we cannot continue to sit and allow these sort of, charade to continue. We go to do investigation, the public goes to sleep, then the investigation ends up with a minister who probably will not do anything. Okay. We would also pursue the legal,
okay, you go the legal part.
Yes.
We'll see if we'll be able to take your final comments, but right now we have to go quickly to Nana Yakwada. Please stay on the Skype with me. We'll have to go quickly to the DVLA premises where the IGP, David Asante-Apietu, is speaking.
Road transport sectors deal with three major components when it comes to road traffic crashes, and that is the road, the vehicle, and the driver. It is imperative to know that DVLA takes care of the driver and the vehicle, which constitute major causative factors of road crashes. Therefore, a step to digitize some of its operations is in the right direction. Nana Chairman, road safety, as mentioned, is a shared responsibility. The current trend of road crashes on our roads is unacceptable. There is therefore the need to place emphasis on road traffic-related issues. We must all champion a cause to fight indiscipline on our roads. This can be achieved by having stronger collaboration among the key stakeholders, such as the DVLA. The police, and for that matter, the MTTD, would like to assure the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority of our willingness to continue partnering them in achieving the road safety agenda. An example is the DVLA MTTD Task Force to check compliance of the road traffic regulations, and with this innovation, The existing relationship will further be strengthened. Aiming to become a world-class police organization, the police administration is looking forward to have data exchange with the DVLA. We are anticipating to have a system where personnel of the Ghana Police Service can access information on vehicles in the country and their ownership. We look forward for a further discussion in this regard. The police MTTD is also assuring the general public of the police readiness to enforce the law and ensure safety on our roads as we approach the Christmas and at all times. We once again congratulate you for this laudable effort. I thank you all for your attention.
The Inspector General of Police, David Asante, appear to thank you very much for your...
Well said there by the MC Kwame Sifaka. Digitization, he says, is in the right direction. That is what the DVLA has said that they're doing. He's also speaking about fighting indiscipline and the fact that it requires stronger collaboration between state agencies like the DVLA. That is when we'll be able to achieve the road safety agenda. He says the police is looking forward to data exchange between the DVLA and the on-vehicle owners, and that they are ready to enforce discipline on our roads for Christmas and beyond. Let's finish this conversation on the atomic gas explosion so we can move on to other stories. I think that I've lost Nanaya Akwada, but we quickly will raise him back and finish that conversation. So back to you, Ms. Amwa. If you go the legal way, don't you think it's going to take a much longer time? So, for example, the Bureau of Public Safety says that they've written to the minister. Is this something that you're looking to pursue as well? Because what we are told is that it's with him. The report is with him. You see, Gifty, I do not see how the Interior Minister would want to sit on a report of a petroleum or a gas explosion. Indeed, if the NPA had a copy, the NPA would also be obliged to distribute same to all other interested parties. The NPA says it has not even received a copy. What is quite incredulous is the fact that the fire service is gradually also joining this fray, where Billy tells all of us he cannot disclose the content of a report to the public. That was a public incident, I'm sorry to say. It wasn't an incident for the state, neither was it for the Interior Ministry. It was a public incident. Innocent lives have been maimed, 7 lost. So families are interested. Okay. And if you look at these people and tell them you cannot disclose what probably led to that explosion, be it arson, be it negligence. So is it that you don't believe that the report is with the Interior Minister, or you can't believe that the Interior Minister has refused to make the report available to Canadians? What we do not believe, or we find quite difficult to accept, is why you would make a public report, only available to the minister. But have you, as a chamber, and try to engage the ministry? We requested for several other reports. You'll be given excuses. In fact, what it is only doing, like I have said, when you continuously shield the remote and immediate causes of these explosions, Gifty, you are only creating room for other explosions to occur. Okay. And I have said that until we move from the narratives that have been the charade all along and find real, causes to these fires. I heard Chichinga, I heard somebody was doing all of that. Today we cannot pay to the matter. And so we are going round again. We are saying if the fire service itself is not also culpable of all of this, they should release a report. Okay. It's a public document. We are interested in it. Otherwise, we'll head to the courts and push them. Nana, let me take your final words, and thank you so much for staying on with us.
Well, I think that in a very civilized society, it is only well and good that we publish such accident reports. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. I keep saying that 9/11 is out there. We as a country are beneficiaries of recommendations on 9/11. We have used that to secure our airports and our airspace. So there is no reason why the state should continuously hold on to accident investigation reports. There is nothing mysterious about investigation report. There is no national security issue in market fires. What is national security issue in a gas going off on a private property. So we think that the state must take steps to publish these reports. It will be most unfortunate if we have to get the courts to compel the state to release these reports from 2000 to date.
Okay, Nanaya, thank you so much for your time here on the show. Nanaya Kwada is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety there. Certainly, we want that report. And I've also been here in the studio with the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, the Executive Director, Duncan Amwa. Thank you. Executive Secretary. There's a lot of executives going on between you and Nanaya. The Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa. Thank you very much once again. You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and up here. I'm going to take a very quick break.